Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is going to be our recap for episode 5 of Spies, Lies, and Allies. My name is Zach, and I'm joined again by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, what's up?
And my best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh,
shoot.
Jake just talked to the air, not into his microphone, just out into the ether.
Okay.
Do you want to take that again?
Yeah, let me try it one more time.
I mean, I think it's going to pick up just a little bit, but...
You want to introduce me?
No.
Nope.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Y'all good?
I'm good.
Everybody awake?
Yeah.
It's late here on the west side of Tennessee.
Yep. I didn't turn around before we started recording, but asked if everybody was ready to go.
Yeah, we were driving down the road, and he went to turn this vehicle around.
But he didn't turn around.
But he didn't.
All right.
He just asked if we were ready.
We should try recording in a pod.
Yeah, we'll record in a pod. Yeah.
Recording a pod in a car sometime.
You know, we
Yeah.
could rent a pod.
You can say that fast, Zach. Record a pod in a car.
Record a pod in the car. Why is that hard? Why is that hard?
Hey, can I listen before you get into your spiel?
Okay.
So we have this ritual of watching TikTok, cringe TikTok in particular.
Yeah, we
before
don't
get
watch
going.
TikTok. We get on YouTube.
We get on
And we watch
YouTube.
compilations of cringy TikToks.
All kinds of channels on there that are available with all sorts of cringe. I need someone to break down
Here
for
we
me
go.
this, and it doesn't matter. Like there's no specific type of TikTok where said individual does this. What is the deal with cocking your mouth to the side and then doing your eyes all big and then rolling your head? What is this movement that's
It's
happening?
always the people that are trying to be like anime characters or video game characters.
Or furries.
Yeah,
I've
but the
seen
furries wear
do
the
it,
full
too.
faces, though.
But I've seen them do the head mo.
Well, that's
head
'cause you
I
can't-
hate it. I
Yeah.
can't stand it. It's probably something. I don't know. I hate it.
It's a tick of yours.
I can't stand it. Do you not just like watch certain ticks out of it? Doesn't even have to be about a certain person, but like there's just certain things that just like you watch and you're like, I don't like that. Like, but it has no like bearing on your day or like
it does with you.
you know, like y'all don't have anything like that.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that comes like to that extent. Because I watch all the same videos you do.
We watch them all together.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me the way that it bothers you.
So you think it's cool?
Yeah, that's it. It's if it doesn't bother me, that means I think it's cool. Yeah, you know, we're clear on that.
Yeah.
You think it's cool?
Yeah, I think
clear
it's
on.
real cool. Whenever you're not looking, I always go, just do it to myself.
You look like you were gumming something.
You got to practice. You know, you're not going to be cool.
You do need to
Yeah,
practice.
you're not
Yeah.
going to be cool until you do it a lot.
Oh, I hate it. If someone can just drop in the comments and break down like why that is a thing, I would greatly appreciate it.
I think they just like it's like over exaggerated movements because they're not trying to look like a normal human. So they're like, oh, I'm quirky. I'm a cartoon.
Funny.
It's cool. We
That's
established that.
That's
I guess
hilarious.
my tick would be the ones where it's
Why are you guys saying tick?
Tick.
Like tick is like a
That's
thing
a
of
thing.
Tourette's. Like,
Is it specific to that?
well,
No,
that's what
I've heard people use tick as in that's something that you have a problem with,
But
and it's something that ticks you off.
I've never heard either one of you say it until tonight, and then it's just become like a phrase you both are saying. And like the only I mean, it may be a thing, but let's just establish it's not a saying that we all normally say. But two,
Not really.
Never.
No, the only time I really use the word tick is for the bloodsucker that
I got a tick in my head.
In my head.
in your head.
But
If there's one in your head, you need to go to the hospital immediately.
I had
With-
one
with
on
Tourette's.
Yeah,
what I was saying with Tourette's is when those
you
like
had a tick with Tourette's on your.
that's not what I was saying.
that's what they call like those like involuntary like movements, which is a big part of TikTok.
Yes.
But there's a whole subgenre of people that fake mental disorders.
Which is
That's
that's
one
that's
that
not funny.
I'm
No,
not
Let me
okay
tell you
with.
something. If you're listening to this and you do that, that is not funny.
No, it's not at all, and it's bizarre.
not funny. It's not quirky.
And I'm gonna tell you
it's
something.
not.
If my mom ever, because not to get too personal. My little brother's autistic.
Yeah.
And so, am I allowed to say we grew up calling stuff retarded? Like, I think across the board, people would say like, "That's retarded," right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's establish that that's okay.
When we're like 13,
yes.
like we're playing Halo or something, and some stupid kid would I'd be like, "That's retarded."
Yeah.
It was a popular word.
There's another one too, but
it was a popular word to use for things that you considered stupid, dumb, annoying, whatever. And it was really big about 10 years ago.
Oh, further than that.
Yes, further than that. But 10 years ago is when it started to fade out. Finally.
Yes.
So,
it's not a thing that we say anymore.
No, it's not. But it was a thing that I was so used to saying. I was so used to saying, and now, when we found out my little brother was autistic, my mom cut that off fast. Like, I learned fast, like, hey, you don't do that. Because now I have context, right? Like,
yeah, and like, to be totally clear, like, it wasn't, like, making fun. Like, it was just a saying that there were other sayings that we grew up, and, like, we're not going to get into those, but it's just when you're...
I swear to God, if somebody comes on here like, I can't believe those three at Smash, like, dude, you did it too. Like,
well, also, what's the point of... Like, I think if anything, like, acknowledging that you can change and you can grow with context and things, like, that's the big thing.
Well, you don't say it anymore, and you get really mad if somebody else around you says it.
And I don't struggle with, like, I don't have to, like, refrain from saying it, which leads me to another tick of mine here, is that, like, hey, man, can we stop this too, where...
Not if it's cool. I might keep doing it.
Where, like, this happens a lot to, like... I think it happens more to certain celebrities than anyone, but we'll pull like tweets from 10 years ago, or they used a racial slur or a homosexual slur, and it's I don't understand why. Am I allowed to say that? Like,
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying either.
Why do we pull stuff from 10 years ago? Do you honestly look at yourself and say that you are who you are currently? You are that same version from 10 years ago. You learn, and I guess what I'm saying is, like, I hate that we have this, like, thing where we're just going to hold people's past against them, no matter what we've learned over the past few years, no matter how much we've grown. But did you see it on Twitter 10 years ago, what they said?
I think it's different if that person is now an advocate for...
Yes.
Now, if they're still a bona fide racist, or homophobe,
but that's the
cut
problem,
them down.
Like,
come after them.
That's the problem. Is I feel like I don't know, like.
I think let's
I'm bad at explaining things.
Yeah.
But y'all get what I'm saying.
I think you started getting really worked up about the TikTok thing, and it got you so upset, and you got on a tangent about slurs about your autistic brother.
Yeah,
and that got you really worked up because you take that really seriously.
Because I can see someone listening to this and thinking, "You said retarded when you were 14."
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man, I'm 31.
If you were on
like,
Twitch or something back then,
you can't get mad at me for that.
Well. Here's what I would say. Let's put a cap in this. What I was gonna say is you have to allow people the room to grow and change, and like. There's no one has ever changed their mind by people getting mad and yelling at them that they did the wrong thing. You've got to just like educate people and be like, hey, no, like you may have not meant it this way, but this is what it is. Like, here's why you shouldn't say certain things. And again, like the whole generation ahead of us, there's like everybody's always got their feelings hurt, and you're like, no, it's not that. It's just like
we're trying to educate other people, help them understand why.
This is not how I expected
X is
the podcast
wrong
to open.
Or X is hurtful, so they can change that and not do it anymore.
We have to be better at like not cutting people down. You know what I'm saying? Like if people screw up, like it doesn't give me a right to like now label this person as, now look, it could be the case that we got a racist on our hands or a homophobe on our hands, or but like.
And if they double down on it, then we come after them.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, I hate this whole, like, context of, like, oh, well, I found this tweet from 15 years ago, so this person must be.
Yeah, again, like we live in an era now where everything's archived.
Stop trying to find. We live in an era where we're just trying to find something wrong.
We live in an era.
We live in a world where we're just trying to find something wrong.
Polly lives in a world.
Yeah, and so
don't get me started on the things that
he's doubling down on.
He is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, and he still has people that support him, and I can't wrap my head around it. But I don't want to talk about him tonight because he doesn't deserve my breath.
Let's put a bow on this by saying, look, you're listening to three people here who aren't racist.
I'm glad we have to get that out of the way.
Yep.
Who aren't homophobic.
Yeah.
Definitely not homophobic.
Who I would argue what?
That's a weird one to double down on. Like, well, definitely not that one, but the first one, let's think about.
We're definitely not racist. We're definitely not homophobic. But you didn't
I would argue that we are three of the most like loving individuals, and but we are also agents of change. And I just think
this is not a challenge.
This is what TikTok does to you.
This is not a challenge podcast anymore. It's an inspirational message.
Man, hey,
I don't want to be a part of that ever going forward.
Like, hey, give the person beside you a chance.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Look at the person beside you.
No,
that person has screwed up.
I have my hands over my eyes.
Yeah. Also,
that person has screwed up. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you. Han.
I've never messed up in my life.
Y'all have both
Zach
screwed up.
messed up yesterday.
But who am I to look at both of y'all and be like, man, I can't believe you did and said that when you were 13. We can't be friends anymore. Who am I, Zach? Who am I to do that, Han? And who are you?
I'm not doing anything.
To bring it full circle and quote Devin from an episode or two ago, if not you, then who?
Yeah, so let's be better to one another, and let's be better for one another.
Learn from your mistakes. That's what it comes down to.
Grow. Not only you have to grow.
Stop pointing at me.
You have to grow, but you also have to encourage growth.
Hey, all for one and one for all.
That's the Three Musketeers.
If you haven't,
that's not inspirational. I don't know what is.
You better be standing up out of your chair,
out of your feet.
Now.
Yeah.
# unity.
Believe.
I don't even know how to
# us.
Transition.
# together.
We did that, Han.
I don't know how to transition.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sweaty now.
When you're passionate about something, even when you talk about it, you almost start bleeding through your pores.
Jesus on the night that he was betrayed. Good Lord. If you go back and watch old episodes of The Challenge, they say things you wouldn't say anymore.
Yeah, I remember we
don't have to get into specifics.
we did a rewatch of a season and
the island specifically
and I believe another season too.
A lot of it was incredibly disturbing, but you know what? Here we are, 10 plus years later, and we've changed, we've grown as a society,
and I've seen these specific individuals have their minds opened,
and to be fair,
things explained to them, and they don't use these words anymore.
As we were watching, I don't think that would have really stood out to us back then.
Not in the moment, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where growth has been.
We grew. We're fine.
Yeah,
we're open to growth.
No, I'm talking to everybody that's listening. People get better. People get worse too, but
people get worse.
I know a handful of that I can count off. That we know personally that have gotten way worse.
Off the deep end. Like, we don't need cut them off.
Let's be better to one another.
Okay.
Hey, # better together.
We have given you
# mask up.
This needs to be on your next Instagram post right here. # pick one of them.
Yeah.
# pick one of them.
Well. we recorded. If you're interested,
I don't know that we've had a better open. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
The last TikTok cringe compilation we watched 2 before we came up here, and the last one we watched was 20 minutes long, and we weren't even sure if we were gonna watch it. And Jake was like, "Let's just pull the trigger. Let's do it." And it was weird, and I think it set us up for this.
Well, yesterday we recorded the final 3 episodes of Rivals 2 to finish that out. That'll drop this weekend. That's on that'll be on Patreon first. It may actually drop on Patreon like tomorrow or Friday or something. I don't know. It'll depend on when I can edit it and get it uploaded, and then it'll be everywhere else. So we did finish out Rivals 2. We got more Patreon exclusive stuff. Just check out patreon.com/SmashingHitsPodcast.
Did we get a new patron?
Did we? I haven't checked the email and stuff today.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm all.
Well, while we're talking about the end of Rivals 2, I'm excited.
I didn't see that.
I'm excited to finally know who won Rivals 2.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it on here because we talk about it at length on the podcast that'll drop later this week. But yeah, I missed that completely. I didn't see that notification.
All these years I've never known.
Well, so as has been done a few times on here, one of our patrons made a ringtone of me saying their name and asking them how they were doing tonight. So, Kevin, our new patron, Kevin, this one's for you. Clean break. Hey, Kevin, how you doing tonight?
I see the email now. I didn't see it earlier. Yeah, because it was in the middle of a handful of other emails on that podcast email. So, yeah, Kevin, thanks for coming along. Again, we have a whole backlog of stuff. We're working through Survivor Season 28. We just dropped. We talked. Wait until this weekend because we talk about it a lot in that podcast. What all happened? What we've recorded recently. But again, it's that's the best place to get all the stuff from us, ad free and all that type of stuff. So, because these definitely have ads, and they just fire them right in there whenever they feel like it. So.
Is everybody still getting McDonald's ads?
I don't know. I don't go back and listen to our stuff afterwards. We're kind of off the cuff type thing.
That's okay.
It happens, and it's real, and it's raw, and uncensored.
But for the kids.
For the kids. Very rarely have to censor anything when it's just us 3. So, you know what? Let's all grow, and grow into talking about this
one
week's
person
episode.
So that we become 3 in 1.
Like
the Holy Trinity.
I was gonna say like a Megazord.
Power Rangers used to do that.
That's
stuff.
a Megazord. Yeah. Well, this episode starts.
Hey, but
no.
We
can't
back on the growing.
No. Again, like an episode centered around, a couple of rookies here. They nailed it. I mean,
this was an entertaining episode.
I think it. To be honest, I feel like it might be the weakest episode of the season, but it's not bad.
I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I still liked what I watched. I still had fun. I think it was paced well. But and you know what? Spoiler: Gabbo goes home. I hope Gabbo gets at least another chance to see what he can do. Maybe not in a paired
really
format.
Gabbo.
But if you're gonna be on the show. Mm-hmm. At least be entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt that he is entertaining.
Yeah.
That's
he started
for sure.
praying to Mike the situation.
I know, in the middle of an elimination.
Like, how funny is that?
Like, I thought Hughie last week saying in the middle of an elimination, oh, he's done this because he's upset that I have some friends. This might be crazier than that.
TJ said it best. There's never been anyone like him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gabbo.
He's something else. And back to another rookie, Emmanuel.
Well, I was going to say the episode starts with Michelle leaving Emmanuel a love letter.
On his bed.
But then, like, you get this, like, weird Tory confessional where they're like, you want to hook up with Emmanuel? And she's like, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that was
all
weird.
over the place this season.
I mean, because
and
Kel's
Emmanuel,
already, right?
in his little confessional, he said he feels like a widower. He was so sold out on Michelle, and maybe that's just how he is as a person. Like, when he finds somebody he likes, he just, all the walls are down. He's ready to commit. He's just in it to win it. And so, like, he's, like, mourning the loss of Michelle.
I think he'll be okay.
I do. I think he'll be okay, but it was just such a hard left turn to go from his confessional saying he feels like a widower with Michelle gone to Tori being like, he's cute, and I was like, that's just a weird
that's in the plot of that's in the plot of Wedding Crashers, where they crash weddings for a living. They go meet Will Ferrell, and he's like, I got this new thing. He's like, you go to funerals and you get all the grieving widows. That was his new play, and that's what makes Owen Wilson realize, oh, this is a scummy thing to do. Yeah. Wedding Crashers, guys.
Thanks
it's
for
spoiling
it
out
there. Well, that's not a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
Well,
it's a good movie,
something.
though.
Yeah, I did spoil something. Will Ferrell's in it. This Gabo says he's here because for Good Times and Gladiator.
Well, at first he was saying he wants to win this so that he can help his family, and then he says also to buy watches and sports cars and party every day.
Yes, which very very Jersey Shore-esque.
Which is on brand for him. Well,
considering he prayed to the situation who just got released from prison not that long ago. After that, you had Amber B and Josh kind of having their whole thing out in the side of the house, and they cut to Amber B in a confessional. She's like, I don't want to be naive anymore. I was like, I don't want to be dumb anymore. And I was like, I don't think you can just decide that. I think there's a lot of people who don't want to be dumb anymore, but it's not just like, oh, let's turn that off. I don't think Amber B's dumb.
I don't either.
You gotta change your patterns.
I do think
you gotta grow.
I do think she was really naive in trusting Fessy immediately. And it was a little weird that Berna was kind of having some kind of feeling about Amber and Josh talking about what happened. Like they were in their own conversation, and Berna's like, whatever, you did this, why are you feeling this way? Like, she doesn't feel bad for her.
I think Berna just doesn't have the context.
Yeah, that could be. I
don't think Berna knows why Amber would have reacted the way she did.
Bernie gives me a little bit of Turbo vibes as far as just like, I'm here to like win, and I'm here to play hard and like do the things that I'm good at. And I'm also like just gonna like take this seriously. She's obviously hooking up with Nelson, but Turbo never hooked up with Nelson. Did he hook up with anybody on the show?
No, he didn't hook up with Nelson.
No, he said his mom was watching. He's like, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, he was totally locked in on the game. Josh, I thought it was interesting that he said he would be Fessy's biggest enemy in this house if Fessy doesn't apologize and admit he made a mistake, which I don't think either of those things is going to happen.
No.
But do you think Josh will actually stick by that and become Fessy's biggest enemy?
I think he's definitely done with Fessy this season.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. And Casey to that extent. Yeah. I'm conflicted.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm conflicted on Josh because it's been so long that he's basically been like a empty head full of rocks. And like now...
That was a real contradiction, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that is. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was trying to picture that.
Well, just imagine an empty head that doesn't have a brain in it, and then if you shake him, it just sounds like a bunch of rocks in there.
Like you hear in the cartoons.
Yeah, you know all those cartoons with.
They do that. They shake them around. It sounds like the Flintstones. Bedrock.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne had a song with Nicki Minaj called Bedrock.
Real Wayne.
I said Lil Wayne.
You ever heard of Real Wayne?
Not the fake one, the real one.
So, yeah, there's no Big Brother Alliance anymore. Like, it's done.
And it was so, okay, you said Casey, I'm going in. Of course, Casey's going to take Fessy's side in this. Fessy doesn't think he did anything wrong, doesn't think he has anything to apologize for, which Nani is like fanning that flame. Like, no, you did what was best for you.
But that's because she's hooking up with Casey.
Exactly. So I kind of understand at the end of the day, you're the one trying to win the $1 million for yourself. But also, you've got Josh, who is loyal to the bone. I mean, he really is. If he's anything, he's loyal. And to completely slap him in the face like that.
It's like slapping a dog in the face.
It's like slapping a dog in the face.
Because he's so loyal.
Why would you ever slap a dog in the face? Like, who? Only evil people do that.
I mean, you might spank their butt sometimes, but I don't think you never would slap one in the face.
Never.
Careful, Zach. Someone will chalk you up for abuse.
Because you spanked their butt?
Yes. Hey, but here's the deal is like, the only thing Casey has proven here is that she don't have a thought of her own. There's nothing. Because their whole Fessy's argument, at least, is that Amber B was coming after him.
Yeah, which is...
There's nothing there.
No, she wasn't coming after him
Nothing.
because the last episode they talked, and she's like, I'm so glad that the Big Brother Alliance is together.
She just wants to be in an alliance.
She just wants to be in an alliance, and she thought that everything was okay, so she was not gunning for Fessy.
Here's, like, why would you not want someone that just won the final in your alliance?
Because it doesn't make sense.
Jake and I talked about this because you weren't here.
I said
it's pride.
It's a pride issue.
Yeah.
He's a proud man.
This is purely he performed so well last season, but she won the final over
She's
him.
the first Big Brother winner,
and he can't stand it.
Yeah,
that's what. There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
Nothing else makes sense. And the thing is, like, I think his big dumb pride is going to be his big dumb downfall.
It's hubris.
And of course Casey's going to take his side
in
this argument. She does, because one, Josh didn't do a darn thing wrong. Josh did not do anything wrong.
You almost said it. Man.
I did not.
You got so into it.
I forgot about the kids for a little second.
I did not one time. But Josh didn't do a single thing wrong. And this reminded me of Casey and Fessy in the final, where Casey was the one.
Her patellar tendon.
Casey was the one who was injured, and she's still trying her best to keep going so that they have a shot at winning this. And Fessy gives up, and she's not even upset with him for giving up while she's still trying. And she took his side in that final. She took his side while he was giving up.
I'm glad you brought that up, Han, because it further makes her look like an idiot.
Yeah,
exactly.
So here's what Fessy has done right at Casey's side. He quit the final.
Yes.
He
wasn't going to eat regardless.
He quit. Yeah. On her. He quit on her.
While she's injured and still trying.
He then, when Amber B has made clear to both of them that she wants to work with them, and was ecstatic because in her mind things are smoothed over, he has now, broken your alliance. You really don't have anybody on your side now other than Nani.
The veterans.
He crossed that alliance.
Yeah.
And you're defending him for what?
Because he's strong.
Everybody was talking about Tori wanting to pull the trigger on Big T. And everybody was like, Tori, that would be the dumbest move you could make right now, because this vet alliance is so important. Once you cross that line,
all bets are off.
All the gates are open. It's vets coming after vets for petty reasons, whoever makes you mad the next day, or vengeance things from a couple years prior. And that was why everybody was like, you cannot vote in a vet yet. You've got to keep going after the rookies. And Fessy went after the first vet over rookies. And it
backfired.
And it backfired. 100%. So if anything, it made Fessy look like a big dummy, and Casey's still taking his side like Josh is dumb for being upset. Am I becoming a Josh stan?
You listen.
I don't understand what's going on.
You should have listened to last week's episode.
I do not understand why Fessy and Casey are upset with Josh. Josh didn't do anything. He was trying to keep the alliance together. He was the only one that was making sense. It doesn't make sense that Casey's upset.
Well,
why is Casey upset with Josh?
For me, it's par for the course for Casey. I just don't think she has a thought of her own. Some of us are leaders, some of us are followers. She is clearly a follower. When you're a follower, typically you just go with it. Doesn't matter what the directive is or the order. You go in blindly, and you don't have a thought of your own. Hence, Casey. Nani is hooking up with Casey, so it's dumb. Like, I can't.
But then Tori was on their side too. But she hooked up with Fessy last season. But
Tori's also acting goofy this season.
Yeah.
Like,
Tori's all over the place.
I don't know that I've ever been. I can't think of anyone I've been less of a fan of than Casey.
What if she did that side mouth thing?
Then it's over. I would go to the bathroom or something every time she's on the TV.
Well, you'd leave the room.
How'd you guys feel about Logan and Big T fake fighting?
I don't think...
I think it was like him teaching her self-defense or whatever.
I don't think Logan's that entertaining.
He is not as exciting as what I had hoped for.
Hey. He's pretty, and his accent is even prettier.
But I'm not upset about it.
I could listen to him talk all day long. I don't care what he's saying.
I'm not
the way he pronounces occasion. Occasion.
I'm not upset about it because they've hit so much on this rookie crop.
Yeah.
But comparatively...
He's middle of the road to me
At least
now.
he's a really good competitor.
I don't know that he's a really good competitor, though.
I mean, they won the first daily, and then from there, it's just kind of been...
Well, he was ahead in this daily, because I think he was the first guy to finish like his side, because he had a confessional, and he was like, "Now I'm just waiting on Anissa to get her part."
Yeah,
and then she fell from the wall.
But like the way that all that's cut, like there's no way to know who was where, because at one point early on, they showed somebody struggling with something, and then there was a safe open beside them, and I was like, "Nobody's to the safes yet." I was like, well, "What's happening?" And it's just like they kind of intercut as much as they need to. So I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad competitor, but it's just it is what it is. Anissa wants a love connection in the house because she sees everybody else has a love connection. Little does she know, she's not going to get anything in the house. She's going to go home.
She's getting a love connection with that ambulance.
Emmy and Gabo are depressed because they're partnered together.
Emmy, it's like she's already decided that they are going into elimination.
I don't think it's a wrong call. They were going into elimination. They're rookie team.
I get that, but like before they even got to the daily, she's like, "We're going into elimination, and we don't work well together."
Did you not think they were going into elimination?
I thought it was a high probability.
I think if they weren't the house vote, they were getting thrown in from the whoever won. Unless
that was
somebody
that was the whole goal was to for who picked Devin? Who's he with now?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Amber B.
Yeah, Amber B.
That was why. Right. That was the whole point of
to get another rookie team,
so you could throw them like they were going in.
Yeah,
there was
Isn't it weird that Devin and Amber B? I mean, Devin and Nany are like the hot commodities.
Yeah, because Ed, like in the middle of this, Ed is talking about how Nany was a really smart choice for Hughie, and I was just like, is that true? Is that a thing?
Nany's PR department is through the roof on this. She's basically the champion brand of the challenge. Like she went from like Walmart specials to like now it's $50 for a t-shirt, and I don't know what changed. I mean, she made the final last season.
She did, but also, I mean, I don't know, because like everybody's talking about how she has so many friends in the house and she's got a really good social game, but
she's always been the most paranoid person.
Her track record shows she gets paranoid about halfway in and completely falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, good for her. Good job, Nany.
I mean, it's nice to feel desired by so many people. So,
God,
we get to the daily.
Good for her.
We get to the daily. It's just called Minefield. Not a creative name at all. Also, there's nothing to do with mines. Like, they were crawling in the mud and collecting puzzle pieces.
Do you want somebody to blow up?
I wanted, if it's a minefield, it's like, oh, you got hit by this.
It wasn't minefield. It was mined field.
Was it mined? I didn't.
Mined.
I just heard
field.
it while I was taking notes.
It was mined field.
They really did a number on your mind with that.
Because they were having to do math,
I guess.
and then they were having to put that puzzle together.
By the way.
And it was in a field.
By the way, the way that they tell them to do math on the challenge is not the like correct like PEDMAS or whatever, PEMDAS or whatever. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
PEMDAS.
They don't tell them to do that. They say do left to right, straightforward. And I think Fessy told us that whenever we interviewed him. So it's not even like super complicated math. It's like straightforward, left to right. Like you don't have to know the order of operations, any of that type of stuff. Gabo didn't finish high school. And so he wasn't going to be good at the math part. Admittedly, like he said it himself.
Berna didn't study math because she went to
circus.
She went to circus school, and so she did not go to math school.
But they won.
They did. Hey, a couple things. One, is this the first time we've seen full-on shirtless CT since before the dad bod?
I haven't been taking notes on that.
I wouldn't think so. I think you notice it because you gotta,
they just showed him, and I was like, who is that? And then they like zoomed out a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's CT.
I think you noticed it because you kind of have an erection for CT.
Not really.
Yeah.
We just finished Rivals 2, and it left a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth.
That's peak CT.
Yeah, but it was just his attitude.
Yeah, but like as far as just like physically, like that was like
physically, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Priscilla is the next one to pull a Casey.
There's negative fantasy points involved.
Well,
I believe it.
With this daily,
the turtle race, as Devin coined it.
Well,
that made TJ laugh.
Again, they can cut this together to, like, I don't think whatever. Aneesa gets hurt in the daily, and we were trying to figure out how she hurt her shoulder, and we rewound it
because it looked like she landed.
I figured it was her knee or something.
Yeah, it looked like she landed weird on her leg, but when we rewound it and watched it, she was still holding on by her left hand at the top of the wall.
Dumb.
And just
gravity
pulled her weight, and it just like pulled her shoulder out of the socket, right?
Yeah, like what's the word? There's dislocation. There's like subluxation or something like that. But she's done. Like, it just takes her out, and we don't have any more replacements for medical DQs going forward. So whoever had Aneesa, Hannah, which your team.
I had Aneesa.
Yeah,
boy, your team's in
I was
trouble.
so sure Jake had her.
So Emmanuel and Casey actually finish and get all the puzzle pieces to the station first, but then you gotta solve the whatever cube, which actually was very similar to Rivals 2
in the final for Rivals 2.
And even though they got their first, CT and Burner are the ones that win. And CT is, I mean, man, he's rock solid. He's somebody that can run with him. And then he's like, I got everything else. Mm-hmm. I mean, Amber B proved it. Like, you know, I don't even know if she ever even got the math problem done in this one, because we know that she struggled with math last season. Yeah. But CT did give Emmy like a
pep talk.
Like hey, I'm your dad. Let me tell you, get back out there, kid.
Listen to daddy.
Yeah, no. That's a different context.
Nope.
Is it? I don't like that.
Nope, don't say that one anymore. Emmy, like, she was so upset with Gabbo.
She's always upset.
I know, but she was so mad at him. And I kind of felt bad for Gabbo because, like, we know that he didn't finish high school. Like, he didn't finish school. So you can't get that mad at him for not knowing math very well. I mean, he didn't finish school. That's not his fault.
Gabbo's a guy you feel bad for. Like, he's a nice guy. Everyone really likes him. And then, like, the more he talks, you're just like, oh no.
But again, if you're drawing a comparison to Big T here,
are we?
I wasn't.
Are we?
Go ahead.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to draw a comparison to Big T, I would say that Gabbo has as good a chance to win as Big T.
Oh yeah,
which is not very good. But you know what?
Hindrance in different ways, but yeah.
But you know what? Gabbo is entertaining.
People will say Big T is. I would personally like, if I had to choose between the two, is
it that hard of a choice?
Only one can be on next season. It's gonna be Gabbo.
I really like Gabbo. I thought he was funny in a strange kind of way. He's a little oddball, and you never know what he's going to do next. He prayed to Mike the situation in the middle of an elimination.
I mean, that should get you a callback right there.
Yeah, that's enough. That sealed the deal for me.
Well, you got something else? You breathed in like you're about to say.
No, that would be a cool concept for a show, right? Just put Gabbo and Mike the situation on the Jersey Shore.
I think Gabbo would lose his mind.
He'd just pat his head a lot. Yeah. They get back to the house, and Logan basically is telling
Josh.
Is it Josh?
It's Josh.
That he thinks Aneesa's injury is going to be real bad. Like, he's like, you don't go to the hospital, and like, you're not done right away. Mm-hmm. You'd keep competing if it was.
Good logic.
And Josh is trying to talk him off the ledge, like, desperately.
Well, that's because he's like, I want to be voted in now, and he's like, whoa. Like, why do you want to be voted in? And I mean, he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
But
Josh talking sense into another player and making sense and it being the right thing to say and him being right.
I'll never be a supporter.
What alternate reality have we stepped into?
I'll never be a supporter of volunteering to go into an elimination, even if it's clear cut that you're probably going.
The only stipulation would be is if it's a gold skull twist.
fine.
Where you have to have an elimination
when you
win.
don't,
we don't
have to go.
No. And that becomes a joke later on. They're like, all these rookies are voting themselves in. Like, they know that there's no gold skulls, right? And Aneesa comes in. She's going home.
You thought this whole segment was weird.
I thought it was very...
unnecessarily emotional.
Yes.
She cried. Aneesa cried a lot.
Because here's the thing. Like, Aneesa's living the life right now. She's on this show,
and
the main
All-Stars.
show, and the spinoffs. I don't know about season 2 of the spinoff. But, like, she's just, like, hanging out, living the life. She's been doing it for however long. And she's got podcasts with MTV. Like, she's fine. And I know that you want to compete. I get that. There was a very specific joke that could have been made because she comes out and says she needs Tori to help her shower. It's been very prevalent that Aneesa likes to go and sneak a peek at the guys in the showers and girls in the showers, even recently, like within like the last year or so. And I know I'm not the only person that put those two together because in our Slack group, somebody made a joke about Aneesa spying on people in the shower because it's just a thing she does apparently. Which, can you imagine if Johnny Bananas did that? Like how much hell there would be raised, and like it's just crazy that that's just an acceptable thing.
Y'all ever seen the movie Hellraiser?
Yeah, actually I haven't. But
you ever seen the movie Hellboy?
Yes,
I haven't either. But she's like, nice.
My dad likes those movies.
Anyway, Aneesa has to have Tori help her shower, and then she goes home. Then we have a night out. Ed wants... This is the only time we heard from Ed the whole episode.
We didn't hear from him at all the last episode.
Yeah, he just
we
dancing.
heard from him earlier because he was saying Nani was a good choice for Hughie to make.
Was that earlier or was that later?
That was earlier.
I don't remember. This was the only memorable thing from Ed to me.
Yeah, it was right after Aneesa said she was really over all the couples everywhere in the house.
Was just... He was showing his dance moves, and then in his confessional, he was doing his dance moves.
He quoted in the third person, everybody knows Ed dances.
I didn't know that, but Emmanuel, who's a professional dancer, said he's not very good. And so I'll trust Emmanuel on that one. Did you like Emmanuel's all white outfit with the white bandana?
I like everything Emmanuel does.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Zach. I didn't even notice it.
He did? How'd you not notice it?
There could have been a cute girl on the television. I don't know.
I mean, the whole cast was there.
Right.
Cuties. So Gabbo and Nani decide they want to change partners. Gabbo then talks to Nani about it and
tells her she wants him back, and
she's like, "Great, I'd love to have you back."
She tells him not to underestimate himself.
Then you have Devin talking with Logan, and Logan saying that he wants to go in, and Devin's like, okay. And he's like, it is better for my game if you have a strong partner, and blah, blah, blah. And then all the, Devin and Kyle and CT are all like, hey, all these rookies keep voting themselves in. It's awesome. And they're like, yeah, it's great. Let's hope that stays forever. So after this night out, everyone goes back, and then you get a Logan and Big T bunk bed hookup of some sort. We don't know exactly what happens, but she says he's good with his hands, and then he says she's like an octopus. Yeah. Which that is, I mean, that's a compliment. I'm assuming. I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, you gotta have
maybe
got a lot of limbs wrapping around you.
Maybe when she gets nervous, she just like spits out a black cloud. That's what octopuses do.
They do.
Octopus or squid?
Oh wait, I think both. I'm not fully.
It's ink, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ink.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what. You imagine if like humans had that as like a defense mechanism, like when they got nervous, it just like out everywhere. You never know. You can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, would you want to be
just
called?
Sitting there, thinking about it.
Your eyes are like up towards
up at the ceiling.
I'm just trying to think how you come to that.
I just don't know. I mean,
you know what an octopus is?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I mean,
I have 8 legs.
When's the last time you had intercourse and thought, that's an octopus right there?
Every time. Then we have Casey and Josh blow up in the kitchen, which is not anything. It's just Casey being like, "Hey, Josh, I can't with you right now."
Casey came to Josh. She initiated this and was asking Josh why he's upset and why he's mad. And he listed off legitimate reasons.
And she's like, "You're being so irrational." Right?
Yeah.
She's like, he's throwing a tantrum in the kitchen.
Like she's like, "Why are you mad?" And he goes, "Well, you called me dumb, thoughtless, whatever." And she's like, "I can't believe that." Didn't
she say that he was only thinking about himself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hold on a second. What did Fessy just do?
It's different.
Is it?
Yeah, it's different because
different?
Fessy did it. And like that really started ticking me off because
watch those ticks, hands.
I know, because she starts calling Josh selfish and only thinking about himself, but he literally was thinking about everybody else. He was trying to
keeping the alliance
he was
together.
looking for everybody else.
But they act like Amber is this like poison pill that's going to corrupt the whole group, and she just like, guys, I just want to be part of it. Like, she's not
asking to be the ringleader,
and she's not like this like infiltrator that's like, oh, I'm going to gain their trust and then surprise attack them. Like, that is not her strategy.
I hope she wins
it
again.
I think it'd be fun.
At this point, I hope she does too out of spite.
At the very least, I'd love to at least see her make the final.
Yeah,
and they know
the last spot and they get cut out.
Yeah, exactly. Just
her and Devin.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Bunch of morons.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Like, I cannot okay, like, Jake, you've had your thing against Casey since the beginning.
Well, initially it was like, God, you're boring.
Yeah.
But now,
well, in her first season, like, she just did not appear on camera unless it was explaining rules.
we forgot that this was her third season.
I didn't forget it was her third season, but we did forget that, like, when
I forgot she had made a final.
A couple episodes ago, we're like, who is the clear choice for like a female partner?
And we forgot to
and we're like, oh,
her.
Casey's even an option. She's made the final both of her seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Casey is not making sense, and Josh is.
I
feel weird about it.
I did DM Josh, be like, Josh, it's time. It's like, come on the podcast.
He ain't gonna do it.
He hasn't read it. So maybe you guys should tweet at it. He might. I honestly have thought about reaching out to Devin and be like, Devin, like,
get Josh on here.
But I don't know if I want to use that favor. I mean, not that Devin owes me a favor or anything, but like, I don't like bothering cast members. And like, I would want to like call in a favor for someone like CT, or not Josh. If that makes sense.
Stop.
I think Josh might. I think he might respond on his own. That's what I mean. CT's never gonna.
I think I would rather have Josh though.
Then CT, we're not named after Josh.
Get it, but I just think the material would be a lot more fascinating from Josh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We have
It'd be a lot
years
more,
of content from CT.
I just don't know. I don't like, again, the only person cast wise I've ever asked to get someone on is because Marie said, who do you want on the show? I'm the plug. Let me know. And I said, we want Devin. And this is before Devin had his big glow up with everybody else that everybody loves Devin now. I was like, we want to talk to Devin. And she's like, all right, I'll get him. And then he messaged us the next day. Mm-hmm. And that's the only time I've ever asked for a favor.
I remember the first time we interviewed Devin, we had people...
They were like, I hate him. I'm not listening.
That people literally said, I really don't like Devin, so I'm going to download it, but I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow.
I mean,
and now everybody has jumped on our bandwagon train that's choo-choo Devin all day long.
Yeah, Devin's
I love Devin.
He's a hot commodity.
Zach actually walked upstairs saying, choo-choo Devin.
Yeah. Well, we get to the nominations, and CT just sets the record straight. It's like, hey, we want to play this straight. We're not trying to pull any moves. Like,
that move.
We heard that, you guys want to go in and you want to go in. If that's what you want, that's what we're going to do. And then Logan's like, well, I want to go in, but I don't want to be the house vote. And CT's like, we're not going to pull anything on you. Like, if this is what you want and they want to go in, like, we're going to put him in against you. And
he was worried that the vote might change.
I get it, but like, CT doesn't gain anything from this. And then he had Fessy jump in. He's like, guys, everybody's playing a really straightforward game. We're all just trying to be really like on the up and up.
He was trying to defend CT to Logan by saying CT and everyone else here wants to play a clean game. To which I had a note, that's kind of really ironic. And then, of course, Amber B's like, oh, clean game, huh? And Fessy got upset with her.
He's like, are we going to do this right now?
You got to double. I got to tell you this. These Big Brother people, they are as good at doubling down on stuff as anybody.
Doubling down on the wrong thing.
They stand by their...
I just like that Amber's like, okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny that in his mind, it's like, God, I'm just playing a clean game. And it's like, no, you crossed like 3 lines.
I literally do not understand.
Good for Amber B. Hope she wins it again.
And then Gabbo says... Because I think it was Kyle.
I don't have a note about Gabbo.
I think it's Kyle that asked Gabbo, like, if you go in, because, he's like, why do you want to go in? And he was like, well, Emmy and I both, we like each other, but we've decided we don't work well together as a team. I want to go in and select a new partner. And Kyle was like, oh, well, who would you pick? And he said, I would really like to have my ex-partner, Nani, back.
And then
Hughie loses it.
Like, I don't know if more was said that we didn't see, but Hughie's like, you're not going to point me out like this.
And he's like, you're making me out to look like a bad person. And I was like, what happened?
He just went on this tirade about how good of a guy he is.
And he's like, no, let me stand up. I'll show you.
And he's like, I'm not a bad guy.
and then Gabbo is like, this is all really unnecessary.
I just, like, Hughie, man, he is so funny to me. Like,
Hughie is like the new Josh.
It's different.
It is different. But why did he get upset like that? Why did, and the way it escalated in seconds.
It never seems like, when he blows up, it never seems like, oh God, things about to go out of control in this house. It's just all within his realm.
Yeah, I agree. It's like he has like a blast radius, and everyone's like, let's just back away and let it happen.
Yeah,
and he's just blasting himself.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't remember what the point was. I just remember at one point he was yelling at Gabbo to let him stand up to show that he's showing himself, and it's just, and then finally Ashley is not even his partner anymore. It's like, Hughie, shut up! You're going to be the vote, and then he kind of just sits down.
But that my point being, we used to have Josh blow-ups, and we would say, wow, that's mind-boggling how he got to this point. I don't understand what's going on in his mind. I don't understand what's going on in Hughie's mind. How did he get to this? The things that he says don't make sense.
But it's like an attack on him. Like, again, you didn't record with us, like, last week. He took everything from Corey very personally. One, that he's like, he's upset that I have friends, and that was an attack. And then two, he's like, we're supposed to be the gay boys together. We're not supposed to fight. Like, that was his quote. And like, I think he's like, Gabbo, we're supposed to be the rookie boys together. Like,
we're not supposed to
You're not supposed to take my partner, even though I just took her from you. And like, Hughie, like, God love him.
It's
like,
so wild.
He's funny, man. It's different because with Josh, you're just like, you're frustrated because like, I don't get it. But with Hughie, you're just like, it's just fun. Like, it's not hurting anybody, so let's just let it happen. So anyway, Logan and Aneesa are the vote, and Aneesa's already gone. So then we have Big T and Priscilla have a little thing, and Big T admits she likes Logan, which, I mean, I think we kind of all knew that. So we get to the lair. Burn and CT pick Gabbo. TJ does the fake out, like, oh, I didn't say it was only guys, but it was. It's called Higher Assets, and as soon as it's a puzzle, Gabbo's like, "Oh no!" And then in his confessional, he's like, "I have not a high IQ." He's like, "But I have a high EQ," and so I'm assuming there's a language barrier there. Like, because I can't imagine trying to speak like Polish or Spanish or something even, and like trying to make like good
or Hungarian,
phrases
because he's from Hungary.
Yeah, so like I can't imagine like doing that. And so I'm assuming that's not an indication that he's not smart. It's just there's a language thing there. It happened to be him talking about his IQ, which is
well, it's like once TJ explained that it was going to be a puzzle and it was explaining how the puzzle worked, it cut back to Logan and Gabbo standing there, and you can see Logan's like zeroed in, like focusing on what TJ's saying, and Gabbo's kind of looking around like he's already starting to check out mentally because it's a puzzle, and he's like, I don't stand a chance.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't a puzzle. It's basically just like, line up these things the same way. Logan, we find out, is training to be a fireman, so he's used to climbing up and down ropes and poles and stuff. And then Gabbo said he can't remember what's on there because his memory is full of songs, and he's out of storage.
And there's no room for memory.
Like, again, I can't imagine trying to come up with something that witty in Hungarian. So, like, Logan gets the first check, and then Gabbo's only like halfway done at this point, and Logan's is wrong. And then Logan just burns himself out. Like, he doesn't have muscles nearly. He's in really good shape, but he's not as big as Gabbo. Gabbo's flying up and down that rope.
Yeah. Where Logan said he was starting to get really, really tired and it was hard to climb the rope, Gabbo was like, my muscles, I'm not getting tired. I'm starting to get warmed up.
We said pumped. And, like, you know, as it went on, like, Logan's having to start using his feet to climb, and then Gabbo's just like, ride him down all arms. And, you know, he said he was all popcorn muscles and all that, but I mean, he's strong. So Logan asked for a second check and then a third check. They're all wrong.
After the second check, he realizes he's too tired to climb the rope again, so he just starts moving pieces and asking for checks. Which is,
I mean, even though it's like assisted and they're like, it's weighted to like help you up and down, like it's still like, it's got to kill your arms. And then that's when Gabbo finally asks for his first check and he prays to Mike the situation, and he gets it wrong though. That maybe Mike was in jail when they were filming.
He didn't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear in those cells.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no reception in there, so
it's the cell service. It's the cinder blocks.
Cell service.
Oh, I didn't even mean to do that.
Good one.
Yeah, Logan wins. He finally gets it, but it was close. It was a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be when Logan asked for his first check. I was like, oh, he blew him out of the water on this.
I'm actually really sad to see Gabbo go.
Everyone was like, like Amanda, new mom Amanda, like when he did something, she's like, oh, like if you feel bad for him.
Yeah, because after the horn was blown, Gabbo just kind of bends over, like he's just like really upset that he lost. And then Ashley and Amanda and some of the other girls are yelling at him.
Do the double pump.
And he finally gets up and does it. And you see his little smile, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Just make him happy again. I want him to come back.
I'd like to see him get another chance. I mean, I want Kels first. Let's get that out of the way.
Do everything you can to get Kels.
Yeah. But
cut off your limbs to get Kels to come back.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, that's extreme. Han.
Yeah.
I want him back.
Well, cut off your limbs, Han.
I want to see what he can do.
Your loins.
Low-ins.
Low-ins. Low-ins and grow-ins.
So Logan gets to pick his partner, and surprise, it's Nani again.
Which is hilarious because Hughie didn't want Gabbo to win because he knew Gabbo was going to take Nani, and so he was excited to see Logan win, and then Logan took Nani.
It's like it didn't even occur to him that that's a possibility. And
he got so upset. He held it in, but you could see it.
I think he realized how dumb it was for him to get so mad, and then it just happened anyway.
At
and
Gabbo.
He's like, oh no. He's like, it didn't matter. So, he's now partnered with Emmy, which that's probably even more of a disastrous pair.
Yeah, everybody.
Than Gabbo and Emmy.
Everybody was saying that Gabbo and Emmy were the worst possible team.
Devin announced to everyone that they're the true international dream team.
Emmy and Hughie.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a far worse pairing.
Yeah. I mean, Gabbo, like, at least he may not be the smartest, but he's strong and
very physical.
Yeah, and Hughie and Emmy, man, I don't know. That could be amazing television coming forward. I hope it is.
Yeah, I kind of can't wait for next week.
That's the end of the episode.
That was good.
Thank you.
Good job.
I wrote that episode.
Hey, you could have done worse.
I could. It was, I think, the worst episode of the season, but I wrote it pretty good. So who smashed some heads? Why?
I didn't have anybody written. I couldn't come up with anybody.
You guys both just sighed.
There were no strong outliers for me.
I'll agree with that. I'll go first, then I'll give it to CT and Berna because they were not in first, and Casey and whatever his name is, they were in first, and then CT and Berna ended up winning.
Logan smashed Hughie's head by taking Nani.
Yep, that's a good call.
I'm gonna give it to the wall because it smashed Anissa's arm. Shoulder.
I think gravity was the culprit in that one.
But it was because she slipped off the wall.
Yeah. Did she slip or did she jump?
No, she just jumped.
I thought she slipped.
She may have been starting
she
and
was
then
holding
jumped.
on with her arm.
It's pretty stupid to jump off and hold on. So I would hope she slipped. She's gone. Who got their head smashed?
Hughie.
Yeah, I could give it to Hughie. Because he got so upset and then the thing
and
he was worried about
happened.
Yeah. I'll give it to Hughie. God love him.
Casey's head has been smashed.
By Fessy.
It's not working right up there.
Yeah. What about your pop culture recommendation for the week? Which movies, TV shows, comic books, video games?
Item of pop culture.
Yeah, I don't have one, so I got to think real quick.
Mine is Chris Pratt.
I'll know what I'll pick. Just you picked just a person last week.
That's okay. Chris Pratt is an item of pop culture.
I don't know if that's true because you picked Ryan Reynolds last week.
I sure did. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He also is
the bad Deadpool, and
he's also the bad Deadpool. In one of the Wolverine movies.
The crappy Wolverine movie.
Ryan Reynolds is married to Blake Lively, the most perfect human being alive. He also just had the movie that we just watched last week.
Yeah, Jake and I talked about all that last week.
It was a good little movie. I really liked it.
But you picked Chris Pratt.
I did pick Chris Pratt this week because I just really love the Jurassic World movies, and Chris Pratt does an awesome job in that. Also, I'm a big fan of Mouse Rat.
We went on one of our first dates to see one of the first Jurassic World movie in IMAX, and
it was for my birthday.
She cannot handle movies like that, like any sort of
in IMAX
stuff.
3D.
She's like stretching her hands out like a scared cat, like you're about to put in water or something.
It was IMAX 3D, and we were pretty close to the front.
I don't remember.
And any time a dinosaur came out, like popped out, like I was jumping out of my seat.
What's your pick for this week?
Well, I guess I'll just suggest something I watched a couple of nights ago. It was late. It's the Untold series on Netflix about the Malice at the Palace.
Oh, yeah.
That is just an interesting little deal in and of itself.
I wasn't watching the NBA then, but I remember when it happened.
It's wild because, like, I think it was Statman Paul. He didn't, if I remember right, he'll drop in the Slack and let us know.
He's from Detroit. So.
Well, he didn't think it was so interesting because it was stuff you already knew. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. It kind of went into, like, the personal effect it had on, like, specifically Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
It just, like, it went into the legal aspect of it too, and just, like, you know, the involvement of the fans, and it's like I thought it was really interesting, and, like, one, it's just a fascinating, like, sports moment in general.
It's just like
it's wild.
If Jermaine O'Neal at one point didn't slip on, like, Gatorade or water on the floor, he would have murdered that
Steven
guy.
Jackson said, like, he would have killed him.
Yes.
He said that's the greatest miss of his life.
Yes, like, and I haven't watched that yet, but, like, I've watched the Malice every so often. I'll watch the full, like, Malice of the Palace thing because it is super interesting, and, like, he goes after that fan. And you got to remember, this dude's 7 feet tall and probably 260 pounds.
I didn't realize that was Reggie Miller's last season.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
Well, what a way to go out. But yes,
and I had forgot how, like, really good that team was.
Mm-hmm. Both those teams were good then.
I mean, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons, who beat the Lakers, which was why there was such a heated rivalry there. Yeah. But I think Reggie Miller made the comment in that documentary that whoever won that Eastern Conference Finals was going to win the finals, and it turned out to be true.
Did Reggie Miller talk about his son belly button tattoo?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know he has one, yeah.
He's got a sun around his belly button. It's real cool.
Some people
only cool people do that.
Some people have sun around their nipples.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say their buttholes.
There's probably somebody that's got that.
Probably is. Yeah.
Well, my recommendation for this week is I listen to my Spotify
Discover Weekly.
Yeah, the Discover Weekly every week, all 30 songs straight through. at least once, usually 2 or 3 times all the way through. And a couple weeks ago, this song came on. I was like, man, I really like this. And the band is Doom's Children, 2 words. And the song is called Flower Moon. And I was like, man, I like this. And I looked, and I was like, oh, they only got 2 songs up. I was like, that sucks. It's because it's a new band. Turns out it's the singer and guitar player from Alexis on Fire that's not Dallas Green and not the front man. And so it's the other guy that does clean vocals and stuff. And it's really good. He's only got 2 songs up right now, but I really like both of them a lot. And
well, I'll be looking at that too.
Again, Doom's Children. Song is called Flower Moon. So that's I've been holding on that one for a couple weeks.
Pretty good, Zach.
It's great. I really like it. So let's do this thing.
Yeah, here we go. Fantasy segment. The moment you've all been waiting for. You're pointing at me.
We gotta thank our sponsor.
Yep. Skechers.
Eat fresh.
Go running.
Hey, so we're gonna start off with 10 points to Emmanuel for the love letter that was left to him. Let's give 5 points to Michelle since she.
Okay.
She was thoughtful enough to do that.
From the grave.
Actually, you know what? Give her 10. That's just a really. I'm a sap, and I appreciate that kind of stuff.
Didn't she say like you danced with the queen?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
She danced with the queen. Is that what you said?
Isn't that what the letter said? Like you danced with the queen.
Oh, I don't remember, Zach.
Okay.
But -5 because he feels like a widower. -10 to Tori because I think she's kind of wanting to play homewrecker.
Yeah.
Gabbo wants to buy watches, 5 points. Sports cars, 5 points, and party all day long, 5 points.
All right.
He also wants to be a gladiator, 10 points.
I just realized he's on my team, and I have another person going home this week.
Amber B doesn't want to be dumb and naive anymore, 10 points. But she's also got a fire in her butt, -10. That can't feel
in
good.
her butt.
Yeah, that's what she said. Well, she used an expletive, but we're for the kids. She also gave the Brad bug eyes.
Did she?
Yeah,
she did.
She's got big eyes. She's got big eyes.
-5.
Okay, I think you're just adding that one in there.
No, nobody likes the bug eyes. Let's see. Berna doesn't get Amber. -5 to Amber.
Okay. That sounds like a Berna problem. But Berna's on your team and Amber's on mine.
You want to give Berna -5?
I mean, no, it's fine.
All right. Nani thinks Fessy made a good move. -15 to Nani.
Great. Another person on my team. -15.
-15. Yeah.
It's so dumb for her to take that side.
A -10 to Fessy because he's doubling down on everything.
I just realized I have the entire Big Brother non-alliance except for Josh.
Oh, my God.
So, -15 to Nani, and then what?
-10 to Fessy because he's doubling down on everything.
God, this is going to screw me so bad.
And 10 to Josh and Amber because they're hugging in the rain.
That's your favorite musical.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Oh, Casey's doubling down too. -10.
God.
We're going to give 10 to Nelson and Berna for the breakfast session. It may have been lunch, but it's a food session nonetheless. Nelson.
Yeah, I got it.
We get Big T and Logan grass rolling sessions, 10 points.
I don't have either of them.
I got Big T. I'm not happy about it. Anissa's over the romance, 5 points, but she can't find her person, -5. Nani's being a good teammate to Hughie, 5 points to Nani. Emmy's feeling depressed, -10. No one gives an F about Gabbo and Emmy, -10 to each of them.
Okay.
But Gabbo's living for the good vibes, 10 points. He's also feeling bad vibes, though, -5. I wonder if Gabbo's going to break Hughie's record from last week for
really?
The most, individual points, yeah.
It was a lot. It was 23 or something.
Kyle's wearing white glasses, 5 points.
Okay.
Kyle.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what? 5 points to Casey because she likes dirty.
What?
TJ talked about rolling in the mud, and she went, I like dirty.
I didn't get that.
So, Devin was born in the mud, 5 points. And TJ confirmed that he is, in fact, a pig, 10 points.
Yeah.
Ed's going to have fun, 5 points. Priscilla explains the game, -10. Burn is a chameleon, 10 points. Emmanuel's the Flash, 10 points. We got Devin's turtle race happening here, 15 points.
Good Lord.
It was funny.
Well, everybody's in a turtle race. Let's see. Being in the mud doesn't bother Ashley one bit, 5 points.
Well, who has Ashley?
Ain't me, it's you.
Where? Oh, there it is. She hasn't scored anything yet.
It's because she's a country girl, 10 points. We like them country. I know it was 5. Her first one's 5 points. Zach.
Oh, sorry. She's from like West Virginia, which I don't really consider the South, but.
Well, Anissa wants to win for Logan. 5 points to Logan for having such a good partner.
And then she breaks her arm.
We hadn't got to that yet. Spoiler alert. We get Nelson bicep kisses, 10 points. I forget who this was quoted to, or if this was said in a confessional, but Berna just said, "What do you know about math?" 5 points.
I don't know.
But -10 because she didn't take math in school.
But they... Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll let it go.
What do you want to say?
Just go.
But Priscilla can do math, 5 points. -10 to Gabo because he didn't finish high school.
Like kicking him while he's down.
Devin doesn't know how the cast is still alive, 5 points. Oh no, Anissa fell, -10. But wow, what a dumb way to fall, -10. We get an ambulance trip for Anissa, -10. Bad run for Anissa there.
Mm-hmm.
Logan's worried, -5. CT cares about math, 5 points. Hughie's big guns are out, 10 points. Gabo's brain isn't working, -10. CT and Berna win, 25 each. They are also going to get 15 each for being the agency and 15 each for being safe. I may have another big week, you guys. I had the daily winners.
Yeah, you had both of them.
Yeah. Let's see. Gabo's mind doesn't work, -10.
You already gave him negative. That's
he doubled down on it, Zach.
But
he keeps bringing it up. He brought it up again. I'm
He
going as the
did.
show goes.
I was like, that's literally the thing he just lost 10 points for.
Let's see. Devin says Gabo and Emmy are the worst team ever assembled. -15 to each of them.
Oh my God.
We're gonna give 10 points to CT for firing up Emmy. What a speech! What a speech! Now Emmy's fired up, 10 points. We then get a Nelson and Berna love session, 10 points. Kind of a celebratory little thing after the daily win. Jeremiah has mud all over his face, -5. I have Jeremiah.
Yeah, I can't even find him. He didn't do anything this episode.
You're right.
You know who else didn't do anything? Corey.
You're right.
Yeah, nothing.
I didn't even see him.
Everybody congratulates CT and Berna on their way into the house. 5 points for CT and Berna. I'm going to give 10 points to Logan for the quote, "Everyone wants to eat rookies."
Mm-hmm.
Josh made a new friend in Logan. 5 points to Josh. Logan wants to go in. We don't ever like that logic. -10. Anissa's going home, but it ain't stopping her. 10 points to Anissa.
Okay.
Tori
You
is.
said 10, not -10.
I did say 10.
My bad.
Tori is exposed. -5. We get sad face Logan. -5. But he's also in the wild. 5 points. And in the jungle. 5 points. Ed loves going to the club. 5 points. We then get a montage of all his dance moves. 15 points. But Emmanuel thinks Ed needs dancing lessons. -5 to Ed. Yeah, Ed. That's right. Let's see. Emmy says baby Nani. 10 points to Emmy. Let's see. She also wants Gabo to fly like a butterfly. 5 points to Emmy. Gabo will go to battle for Nani. 5 points to Nani.
Okay.
We get encouraging Nani again. 10 points. Logan still wants to go in, -10. CT, Devin, and Kyle think the rookies are all dumb. 5 points to each of those guys. CT, Devin, and Kyle. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We get Big T and Logan love sessions, 10 points. Logan is very good at using his hands, 10 points. Also, Big T is an octopus in bed.
We don't
know what that
give her
means.
15, because that is quite the. That's a comparison. We get Interrogator Kyle, 5 points. He thinks the Big T Logan thing is so funny, 5 points. We get a Josh and Casey fight, 10 points.
Okay.
Josh is tired of putting people before him, and it's time to do it for his family, 10 points. Casey doubling down on Fessy again, -10. Also made the comment that Josh is playing for himself, which is, again, dumb logic, -10 to Casey. Fessy thinks everyone has played a straightforward game, -15.
For being a liar.
Just being dumb.
And not self-aware.
Like, I genuinely think he was just like, oh, well, not that.
Nani's got rookies fighting over her, 10 points to Nani. It's a good week for Nani.
Yeah. It's about to get better.
I just have in all caps here, Hughie is not a bad person. 15 points to Hughie. -25 to Logan. He gets voted in. Let's give 10 points to Logan and Big T.
Just question, does Anissa count on that?
What?
Being voted in. Okay.
No.
I just want.
She's been officially medically disqualified.
We're going to give 10 more points to Big T and Logan for the confirmation of feelings being had here.
Well, he never confirmed, did he?
Well, we're going to give 10 points to Logan. Gabbo wants to prove that these aren't popcorn muscles, 5 points. You got to have your cologne, too, 10 points. Anissa's in the stars, 10 points. -25 to Gabbo. He got voted in. But Kyle says these are two great men. 10 points each to Gabbo and Logan. 10 points to Emmy for calling TJ Mr. TJ again. Let's see. Emmy then threw up middle fingers, 5 points.
She does every single time.
I thought you were going to say she threw up.
She then threw up.
So Mr. TJ. Blah.
Logan has all of his country on his back, 10 points.
That's not heavy, though.
Spain?
So he said that, yeah. He's the only person here from Spain.
I know. He said, you said that's not heavy, though.
He said, but it's not heavy, though. Like, he was like, I can carry it. He said something along those lines, like,
yeah, you're the one that said that's not heavy, though.
Because that's what he said.
That's not what he said.
And you just went, Spain?
Well, Gabbo's the first Hungarian on the challenge ever, 10 points. Yeah, give him 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
His IQ is not that high, -5, but his EQ is 10 points.
I don't know what that means.
I like the quote, though.
Logan the fireman, 5 points. Big T swooning, 5 points. Wow, good scoring week for Big T. How about that?
Sure.
Amanda makes a hungry joke. Hungry.
I didn't like it.
It was
-5.
real cringy.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Gabbo looked at the puzzle and went, that thing. -5. Gabbo's memory is filled with songs. I'm going to give him 5 points for that.
Yeah.
But there's no room for memory.
His arms are not tired. They're pumped. 10 points. Devin would have murdered this. 5 points. Let's see. But he then explains the game. -10. Gabbo's brain is exhausted. -5. But he prayed to Mike the situation. 15 points.
Yeah, that's 15.
That would be big scoring right there.
Logan wins. 75 points. Gabbo loses. -50. Hughie is so happy. 5 points. We get the Gabbo flex. That's 10 points. Bettina was actually praising it. She was lifting her hands when he did that, like this right here. So 5 points to Bettina.
Well, she had done nothing so far.
Let's see. According to TJ, there is never been anyone like Gabo on the challenge. 15 points. Let's see. Nani said she couldn't have asked for a better rookie. I don't think that's good logic. -5 to Nani. According to Gabo, he will come back and be a puzzle wizard. 10 points. 5 points to Nani. She got infiltrated. Hughie lost his partner after all. -10. Bad news for Hughie and Emmy. -10. Emmy doesn't, as she's calling it, they're not going to be good. -5 to each of them. But you know what? 10 points because Devin deemed them the International Dream Team. That's to Emmy and Hughie. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are your fantasy points of the week. Brought to you by Skechers.
Go running.
Zach is going to do some math real quick. We're going to take pause.
We're going to take pause.
Take pause.
Sit tight. Hey, we are back. You wouldn't believe it, but in that little pause there, I went to pee, Han went to pee, and Zach caught a frog.
That's true. It had
literally, it's true.
It came in the it had to have come in the house whenever you came in.
Well, when it rains,
it pours.
It didn't rain today.
The frogs typically tend to dip inside. They say, "All right, I'm gonna dip."
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That frog looked flat too. Did you step on that thing once already?
No.
I'm telling you, I didn't have my glasses on, and it was dark. I didn't turn the lights on because, like, I know how to get to my bathroom, and so I thought it was a leaf that just got stuck to your shoe, Jake, and it just came off at the stairs. And sure enough, I pop open my bedroom door, and that thing flies.
He said, "All right, I'm gonna dip."
I'm gonna dip downstairs.
All right, so
Jake, did you hear me yell when you were in the bathroom?
Nuh-uh. Y'all got a loud vent in that bathroom.
No, I was standing at the stairs. Zach went to catch the frog, and he got 4 steps down, and the frog went flying again, and I yelled out.
So I'm gonna read through everyone's point totals.
This is for everybody that we probably got hundreds out there that are keeping tracks of this.
Hundreds.
In case anybody's listening along, they need the score. So CT got 80, Amanda got -5, Ed got 20, Berna got 95.
Oh God!
Wow, Berna.
Jeremiah got -5, Josh got 35, Emmanuel got 15. Emmy ended up with 0. All of them canceled out.
That's wild.
Yeah. Hughie got 15. Big T got 50. Definitely her biggest scoring week.
Yeah.
And then Esther got 0. Fessy, -25. Nelson, 30. Ashley, 15. Kel's been eliminated. Tommy's been medically DQ'd. Nani with 15 points. Gabo had an insane amount of scoring. He ended up with 0.
Wow.
It all just canceled out.
How about that, Zach?
Yeah. And then
You got to be happy about that.
I mean, it's better than negative. Michaela ended up, obviously, she's been eliminated episode 1. Michelle, though, from the grave, got 10 points.
She left a love note.
Yeah. Casey, -15. Bettina, 5. Amber B, 0. Another one that just canceled out. And then Kyle is at 20 points. Devin, 35. Corey, not Corey, 12. The other Corey that wasn't on this episode at all for some reason, 0. Anissa, -10. Logan with 100 because at 75 saved him at the end.
Yes, it did.
Tori with -15, and then Priscilla with -5. So for the week, Hannah has 125 points. I only had 35 for the week.
Oh.
And then Jake had 300 for the week.
God.
So now the standings are Hannah is in last place with 350.
Finally a step in the right direction, Han.
She started with 260, and after last week she was at 225. I'm still in second place with just 560, and then Jake is in a commanding lead. He hasn't had anyone go home. You're at 1,165.
Wow.
Jake, what are you going to do when all your people start going home?
I don't know, Han. I mean, there'd have to be a run made.
But statistically, it's going to have to start being your people.
Well, you say that, Zach, but you never know.
That's true. They might eliminate our players again. So, yeah, Jake's clearly in the lead, and it is...
well, here's the good news, Han, is that you were in third place behind Zach by 300 points after last week.
Now it's just 210.
Now it's just 210.
Yeah. I had a bad week. I mean, 35, that's probably the lowest scoring week by far.
So, I think...
Oh, wait, well, I guess Han had a few negative ones.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Thank you.
So, that's this episode. We will be
You're
back.
ready to get out of here, aren't you?
I'm out of it. We will be back later this weekend with Rivals 2. Final episode for us recording. It hits episode 10, 11, and 12 of Rivals 2. And then we have more stuff on Patreon, so check that out. Again, shout out to Kevin, the new patron. And then... we just got more stuff coming. You'll check it all out. Follow us on social media. Ask Smashing Heads on Twitter. Ask Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And rate and review us, iTunes, all that type of stuff. It does help us out. So, pointing at you.
Y'all need any frogs caught, y'all know who to call. Have a good night, everyone.